Today has been a big day for LSU and the transfer portal. So much has happened today, but it has also happened this past weekend, yesterday. Of course, after my Saints video, at the beginning of the Saints video, I talked about the transfer portal stuff. We had not gotten a quarterback. I talked about the wide receivers that we got. But lo and behold, a little bit after that video comes out and I get that video uploaded and I do that video, we land a quarterback. The quarterback from Elon Clark is his last name. We land him, but not only that, we potentially have landed the number one transfer quarterback right now in this class. That, of course, is Sam Levitt. We'll get more into those two players, and we'll get more into some other players that I want to look at, especially one position in particular, and some other news that kind of happened today along with LSU. I did mention it before in my previous video. If you guys haven't seen it, definitely go check it out. Highly recommend it. As I talked about the Saints and all that. Now I get to finally talk about some LSU stuff with the transfer portal. I wanted to kind of wait until later on in the week to do something, but with the big news that happened today, I needed to do a video today. On Monday, as I'm recording it, probably see this on Tuesday, but it doesn't matter. Either way, you're going to see this movie. You're going to see this video. I was about to call it a movie for some reason. You're going to see this video. It is a big day again. Big news again here for the Tigers and the transfer portal. Now, before we get into the video, welcome everybody to the BrewCrew channel. My name, of course, is Hayden Brewer. Actually, I've not said that in a long time in my videos, really. But welcome to the BrewCrew channel. I do football content like this with LSU and Saints, and also do wrestling content, which I will probably get back into some point in this week. As I do want to try to get back into that, since sort of the football season is done, but football will not be done here on the channel, so I'll continue to do that. So if you guys are new to the channel or haven't yet here on the BrewCrew channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell for future upcoming videos here on the channel. And with that being said, let's go ahead and just get right into the video. We're going to go ahead and start off with some news. We're not going to start off with the Sam Levitt and Leon Clark thing just yet. There's some big news. First of all, of course, we want to talk about real quick running back situation and some players coming back, some players staying. Harlem Berry, of course, fully committed. Staying. We saw that Trades Green, I believe, this past weekend, fully committed, staying another year for the LSU Tigers, which is big. He's one of your big-time playmakers. But then, of course, I did mention it before and did see this. Caden Durham entered the transfer portal, but then it was today, the same day, we get Sam Levitt. He opts out and is now coming back to LSU for another year. So the duo of Caden Durham and Harlem Berry will happen for this next season. I am definitely excited for it, and definitely excited that we finally get to see Caden Durham and Harlem Berry in the backfield. Of course, there's a lot of other players to potentially talk about, and a lot of players to talk about in this transfer portal, but I want to look at one specific position in this transfer portal, and that, of course, is the wide receivers. Right now, a total of 9 wide receivers have transferred to LSU. Let's just go over some of these names. We got Winston Watkins from Ole Miss, transferred from Ole Miss. He's a 4-star wide receiver coming from Ole Miss. You got Roman Mothershed, I think that's how you say his last name. I think he's a recent commit from Troy. Sorry if you hear a phone ringing. That's my dad's phone in the living room, so sorry about that. This was a shocker. Eugene Wilson III from Florida was sort of a shocker there. I think I've heard of him. Pretty good player, definitely big on that 4-star commit. Another 4-star, Trey Brown III from Old Dominion, a 4-star commit. That is definitely big. Another 4-star from Kansas State, J.C. Brown, who was big with Kansas State for a few years, looking to definitely have a big name. Jackson Harris was sort of one of the first big-time commits that Lane Kiffin had in the start of his head coaching tenure here of the start. He was a 3-star, but he was really great with the Mountain West with Hawaii. Josh Jackson from McNeese State. Trey Holloway. I have no idea what this school is that he transferred from, so if you know, let me know in the comments down below. You guys will probably see in the picture that will pop up. And finally, Malik Easley. I think I'm gonna say Easley because I don't know if that L is silent. From Illinois, also. So that of course is a total of 9 transfers right now. A total potential of 9 transfers right now. Of course, we know Kyle Parker was one of the wide receivers entering, and there was a couple others that did enter the transfer portal. A total of 6. One of them, of course, being Kyle Parker, who is yet to decide where to go. So we will kind of wait to see on that. But this is a stacked wide receiving room, and I am definitely looking forward to seeing how this wide receiver room will be. So now let's get into the big one though in the video, and that the big one though in this video, and that of course is the 2 quarterbacks, Landon Clark and Sam Levitt, that we ended up getting to commit to us. First, let's talk about Landon Clark from Elan. In this past season in 2025, he passed for 2,321 yards, 18 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Pretty good playmaker. He is definitely a pretty good playmaker. Of course, Elan, an FCS school, I believe. So definitely going to be interested to see how he will fare, really. Of course, last season was his first full year as a starter. He technically was a freshman, I believe a redshirt freshman. So he is young, and of course Sam Levitt is older a little bit. So if Landon Clark ends up staying and sort of sits behind Sam Levitt, because really out of these two, to go ahead and say, you're going to start Sam Levitt over Clark. Not saying that Clark is a bad player, it's just you're going to have Clark as your starting quarterback if you didn't get Sam Levitt, potentially. Or you're going to have to figure out something about that. But finally get Sam Levitt, who has actually played a full season, has played games in the FBS. You go with Sam Levitt over Landon Clark. Let Landon Clark sort of learn this sort of offense, and maybe some point in the future, if he stays with us, some point in the future gets his role, gets his time, and gets his start as our starting quarterback later on in the future, whenever that may be. But I think this is a pretty good pickup, because that definitely helps with your quarterback room, because again, you lose Michael Van Buren to the transfer portal, who instantly committed to South Florida. You had, of course, DJ Lagway and Sorsby, I believe, was the other quarterback, Brandon Sorsby, who went to Texas Tech. Lagway went to Baylor. So really, and we didn't know that much about Sam Levitt because we just didn't know, because, I mean, right now we don't know officially for Sam Levitt, because Sam Levitt, there is still conversations with Tennessee. So, but it might look like he is going to be coming here. But let's look at Sam Levitt. Of course, Sam Levitt was an integral part of the Arizona State team that went to the college football playoffs in 2024. That year, as a redshirt freshman, he had 2,885 passing yards, 24 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and he also had over 400 yards on the ground and 5 touchdowns, helping, of course, the Sun Devils, I believe, win the Big 12 championship and make the college football playoffs. This is actually not the first time he's entered the transfer portal. He was with Michigan State, actually, in 2023. He did appear in 4 games as a redshirt freshman, but then he technically right now has 2 more years of eligibility left, and it kind of sounds like a certain someone that a lot of LSU fans know who came from Arizona State. I'm just saying. The last time we had an Arizona State quarterback transfer to come here to LSU, he did some pretty cool stuff. Yes, he sadly couldn't bring us a national championship, but he did have some great personal player success. Of course, if you don't know who I'm talking about, of course I'm talking about Jaden Daniels. Where is he now? Of course, he's in the NFL. He is injured, but we'll see how the rest of his career goes. But can Sam Levitt beat that? Of course, Sam Levitt he was sparingly. There is the question about his injury, because I believe it was a knee injury of some sort. It was a season-ending injury. He only appeared in 7 games in 2025, passing for 1,628 yards, 10 touchdowns, and 3 picks, while also rushing for 5 touchdowns again and 306 yards on the ground. So there is definitely potentially the concerns of, potentially the concerns of his health a little bit, with how healthy he would be coming in and how healthy he would be for the training camps or whatever. I think we're training or spring training, I believe it would be for LSU. So that would be the question. And another question would be for Sam Levitt is how this offensive line would be, because we have had a good bit of offensive linemen to transfer. We did get a tackle, and I believe we've got a good couple, but it's only been a total of 3 if you look at interior alignment and offense and tackle. So offensive line has not been so well, but I believe we have been landing on a couple of players in the recruiting board, on the recruiting side of things. But of course we had a lot of. We actually had one, I'm looking at this, we actually had one who withdrawed as well. Weston Davis actually withdrawed his transfer, so it looks like he'll be staying, so that's pretty big for us. But again, it's definitely, it's definitely, we'll definitely have to see how everything goes, but I am excited either way. I think that's all I really have for this right now. So yeah, kind of went over everything. I think, like I said before, to kind of quickly say, to end it off with, I think you go with Sam Levitt as your starter, and then because Clark is still kind of young, because he's going to be coming in as a sophomore, technically as a redshirt sophomore. Levitt's going to be coming in as a redshirt junior. You start Levitt first because he has the more experience a little bit. You have Clark sort of be your backup, and you see how Sam Levitt's season goes, possibly comes back, because it's going to be probably the same situation like Jaden Daniels, because Jaden Daniels came in as a junior. There was the rumors or the questions on if he was going to go to the draft as a junior or if he was going to come back for one more year. Of course, we saw what happened when he did come back for one more year, so that would definitely be the same question for Sam Levitt. If Sam Levitt has a good season, or even a great season to where he is going to be one of the top quarterbacks going into the next year's draft. But again, we'll see. But then you're going to have this young Landon Clark who could learn behind Sam Levitt and learn more about this new sort of offense, because it's 2 different offenses with 2 different divisions, leagues, because Elon is an FCS, I believe it's FCS or one of the college football leagues or whatever, and then of course you got FBS, which is LSU, who's one of the top FBS college football teams, especially school-wise as well, to go to. So I'm looking forward to it, but again, I think you start Levitt, and then you kind of see what Clark does if he continues to stay with us. That's the other question. Does he continue to stay with us, even though we are potentially going to go with Sam Levitt first over him? But since he's more younger, you could keep him, but then of course we'll just have to see how the rest of the time goes, because maybe we'll land a big time quarterback in the recruiting board and whatever. But look, again, we'll see. Time will of course tell with these 2 quarterbacks, and I'm definitely looking forward to it. Of course, the transfer portal's still going on. We'll probably get a couple more players by the time I finish up this video or whatever. So again, we'll see. So that's kind of all I really wanted to go over. Of course, I didn't go over every player that we ended up getting in the transfer portal. I just wanted to focus on 2 things. Stacked wide receiver class right now. And I think I did see before I recorded this video that we have one of the top transfer portal classes right now. And so right now, the Lane Kiffin era is off to a great start right now with LSU, with this transfer portal. It's just, can we continue sort of going up from this point and kind of take that into this next season? Hopefully we can. I'm definitely looking forward to it. I'm going to go ahead and end off here. If you guys made it all the way to this point in the video, Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did enjoy the video, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell for future upcoming videos here on the BrewCrew channel. And let me know you guys' comments down below on, of course, who you guys think they will start. Do they start Sam Levitt, or do they take a risk with Clark? And also let me know y'all's other thoughts on the transfer portal as well in the comments down below. We definitely appreciate it. And now with that out of the way, I hope you guys have an amazing, wonderful day, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.